wisdom doesn't necessarily come from age.
No.
I think it can come from life experience and age, but I also think like let's not take for granted that somebody who is 20 has had no life experience, like just writing them off.
Yeah.
If you can get that from a family
Exactly.
perspective, actually you can actually so get that for yourself from a friendship perspective.
You can have times when you're serious and have times when you're having fun. You can have times when you're upset with each other and then times when you're really getting along and besties. Step back, I was like, oh, I've done that. And then you followed up with, but bring it to the conversation. I was like, okay, I did that. So I'm off the hook.
Hi, Vicky.
Hey, Ritz.
How are you?
I'm good. The sun's out. Finally. Yeah, I'm always happy when the sun's out.
Me too. Although, okay, sorry guys if you can hear lawnmowers. And there's going to be more than usual, I think, planes. There's not been any yet.
No, there hasn't.
There hasn't been any yet, but...
Yeah, they will come.
They will come.
Because it's a very clear day.
And they know we're filming.
Yeah.
They always come when we're filming.
But yeah, how are you?
I'm good. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah.
I'm feel like I really needed it this week.
Same.
I really needed it.
Same.
And yeah, we're starting later than usual, aren't we?
Yeah.
But we've had a nice catch up.
We have. I think we're going to do a day in the life, like behind the scenes of the podcast day, because we just come in and we just need to brain dump, chat, catch up, share our own dilemmas.
Shake each other up, fix each other up, laugh at each other.
Yeah, get down to it, get ready, and then have lunch, and then yeah. So one of these days we're going to do behind the scenes.
Definitely, I loved it today when I was telling you my situation, and I was like, I really don't think I'm being unreasonable. And Vicky did like her classic. I can't even do it. And I was like, fine then, give it to me. If you think I was being unreasonable, tell me why.
Yeah. So do you think I was being unreasonable? Like, yeah. Yeah. But I love that. That's why I love you.
I know. We just bring it to each other, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Anyway, so we're going to do a little bit something different today because we had a little bit of a different day today, didn't we?
We did.
We actually had a journalist from
Women's Health Mag reach out to us about providing a thought piece or our feelings, our thoughts, our professional opinions on friendships, but having age gaps in friendships. So we asked her if we could bring this topic to the floor today, and she was up for that. And I guess it's not necessarily a dilemma that says A, B, C, help, what do I do? But dilemmas can come in forms of just conversation pieces and conversation starters and just generally like, what are your thoughts on this? Mm-hmm. So we shared our thoughts with her and we're going to share them with you also. Yeah.
So yeah.
So her question was, what do you think of age gap friendships? Mm-hmm. Like, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah. And I got to say, I loved this and I was so glad that it was brought to us because I have so many friends that are of different generations and I love it. I feel like my life is so much richer because of that. I have friends in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. I did have some friends in 70s, like some of my neighbours, and we had such a good friendship as well. So yeah, I love that.
I love it too. I feel like sometimes I've been described as an old soul because I might just gravitate, not necessarily to my peer group all the time.
Same.
But like somebody who's a bit older.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's also to do with like the career I chose and the people you meet along the way in terms of the people you train with. Because a lot of people come to becoming a psychologist or a therapist as a second profession.
Yeah.
So
we were the youngest on our
course. We were the youngest, yeah. So it was quite a big like people in their 20s and early 30s and then people in their 50s. Like it was like 50 plus, wasn't it? Yeah. So it was quite a big divide. But yeah, she just wanted like our perspective on it. And we just said, actually, let's bring it here.
Yeah. So one of the questions she posed us was, what are the benefits? So Ritz,
share with us. What are some of the benefits of having friends in a different age group to you?
So I think initially when I was asked this, it was like, what is the benefit of somebody having someone older to somebody younger? And I kind of said, I don't really think you should just look at it from that dimension, because somebody younger can give so much to somebody older too.
Oh, yeah.
Not just in terms of like that fresh perspective or the liberation that somebody like, let's say in their 20s might give somebody like in their 60s or 70s, but also you might have somebody, like the example I was talking about was you might have someone, let's say, who's in their 50s, who's friends with someone in their 20s, and you might just be lucky enough to get to your 50s and not really have had much life adversity thrown at you, or that like there may have not been many shocks along the way. And there may be somebody in their 20s who has had a lot of life adversity and a lot they've had to learn from. And so wisdom doesn't necessarily come from age.
No.
I think it can come from life experience and age, but I also think like let's not take for granted that somebody who is 20s had no life experience, like just writing them off in that sense. So I think a lot can be gained from both different demographics of age.
Or like you can still have lots of life experiences at the age of 20.
Yeah.
And a lot of wisdom can come from that. It's not necessarily age that gives you wisdom.
Yeah.
It's life.
Yeah.
How you apply it, just like what's going on around you, what you observe, what you hold on to.
Yeah. And then we were having a chat about, once you maybe look past the age part, actually what's the connection here? It's just friendship. Like, and friendship doesn't need to discriminate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Age being part of that.
Yeah.
Like, what is friendship? Friendship is about connection.
Yeah.
Trust, empathy, validity,
Respect.
authenticity.
Love. Yeah.
And that can come in
All shapes and forms.
all shapes and forms.
Yeah. Yeah. I gave an example at the end of this TikTok account that I see a lot, and it's this young girl in her early 20s, and she lives next door to an elderly couple, and she films herself she films her outfit of the night, of the day, and films their reaction of it. So she goes and knocks on their door, and they're just like, oh, I'm not sure about this one, or oh yeah, give us a spin. And I just think about the joy that they bring each other, and it's not just a one-way street. I'm sure that, you know, they give her a sense of like safety, belonging, validation, and she gives them a sense of fun and vibrancy and spontaneity and that sense of inclusion. So yeah, I think it's great when different generations can really see the value that they bring to the other person, and they can see the value that the other person gives them.
And one thing that I think is really interesting in all of this is when it comes to friendships, like you get to choose your family.
Yeah.
I remember you saying this, like
Yeah.
you get to choose your family. And so often I have heard people in my life, professionally and personally, say things like, my grandma or my grandpa was my best friend, like when they might be talking about the loss of that grandparent in their life, like they were my best friend, they were always there for me, they had my back. And so why couldn't you choose that in a friendship?
Yeah.
If you can get that from a family
Exactly.
perspective, actually you can actually so get that for yourself from a friendship perspective. And I think it's such a beautiful thing that this girl's gotten.
Yeah, I know.
That you're talking about.
Yeah. With her next door neighbours.
Yeah.
And they have such a laugh. My gosh, I want to live in that block with them. They have such a good time.
My neighbours are 88 and 89. And I love it.
Yeah.
We love our chats.
Yeah.
The other day, we were having, because they are so into their gardening, so into their gardening. And the front of our house is just a little bit overgrown at the moment.
Oh my gosh, do they help you?
No.
Oh, that's what my neighbour used to do with me.
I mean, they're quite elderly now, so they're just about maintaining theirs.
Yeah, I mean, she was just telling me what to do. I had to do the work.
Oh, okay, no. I was speaking to the part of the couple, and I was saying to him, oh, it just looks so beautiful, like the front of your house, like it just looks exquisite at the moment. And I said, because they have to like go past our house to get to their house, and I was like, you must shake your head in shame when you see the front of our house. And he just went, yes, dear. And we had such a giggle. I had to laugh over it. And genuinely, even when I walk past my house, I'm like, oh my God, what are they going to think?
Yeah. I love that there's just no filters.
Yeah.
Once you get to a certain
and the
age.
endearment of like, yes, dear.
Yeah.
Please pull those weeds out.
Do you know what also I love about relationships where there's like a difference in generation or age? Is that you can actually take turns to fulfill different roles. So you may classically think of, someone older looking after the younger person, or being that person who's quite, parental. But actually, that can turn. And I think this is what happens when you form meaningful connections with people. You take turns at offering different things at different stages of the relationship. So you take turns at offering support. You take turns at, being the one who offers advice. You take turns at being the one who's fun and spontaneous and a bit of a risk taker and a bit of a troublemaker, whatever it may be. And I love that. And I think that age doesn't stop that. It doesn't put a dampener on or a limit on how you can move in and out of different roles and also different phases of your personality, of your friendship. You can have times when you're serious and have times when you're having fun. You can have times when you're upset with each other and then times when you're really getting along and besties.
It's an evolution, isn't it? Friendships.
Yeah.
And I really like what you said there, because sometimes when we think of friendships and we think about the roles we play in them, like we might attach ourselves to particular roles or attach people to particular roles. For example, like something very obvious is like the giver or a taker in a friendship or a relationship. And that can be so fluid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think actually that's such a healthy part of friendships, is to have that fluidity of, as you said, taking turns.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a question for you guys. In your friendships, do you feel like there's space to take turns? Because when you can get so stagnant, I think you can get really stagnant in a role, and maybe resentment may build if you feel like this is the only thing that I'm useful for, or this is what the other person takes from me, but actually I want to move out of that. I want to be someone different. I don't want to be pigeonholed.
And I would do that, like if that's something you're thinking about, do it in a way that's not passive aggressive, because the flip side of that, which I'm hearing, which I have heard, is I'm going to stop checking in on them. I'm going to take a step back and wait to see what happens. Let me see if they check in on me. But I think there's another way you could take ownership of that.
Okay,
to actually bring it to the friendship.
Okay.
And to, have communication there about the fluidity.
Yeah.
To say, I do love you if you do still love that person. I do love you, and I do love hearing about you, but I always feel like I'm the one that's coming forward to ask you those questions. And I'd love a bit more spontaneity of maybe that coming from you.
Yeah, yeah. That's great. That's great. It is great. And
I thought there was something coming after that. Like a but.
No.
Oh.
I was just thinking about my own friendships sometimes where I've done that. Because when you originally said you can be a bit passive aggressive and just say, I'm going to take a step back, I was like, oh, I've done that. And then you followed up with, but bring it to the conversation.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I did that. So I'm off the hook. I'm off the hook because I think I did both. That's what was going on in my mind.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because sometimes you say things and I'm like, that's me. That's me. And then I'm like, am I doing it the right way? They're like, there is no right way. Stop trying to get the gold star.
I know.
But we do it, don't we?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You do.
We're all just trying to be good human beings.
I know. But yeah, so I'm all for having friendships out of, friendships that are different with, all
Away from
shapes.
the norm.
Away from the norm. Like you were saying, we're encouraged to have friends that are in the same age group of us because we go through the school system, or we have friends that we are, it's just by proxy because we live in the same area, or maybe we go to work and we all work together, and that's why we're kind of thrown together. But we can be really intentional about our friendship choices in a way that we can't with our family. And I think that's actually such a blessing to be able to choose your family as well, your additional family.
One of the questions that she asked us, which I thought was really interesting, she shared a bit of a fact actually. I don't know if it was a fact per se, but what she was saying was that since coming out of like the pandemic and lockdown, people are actually feeling more lonelier. And what advice would you give to somebody who is trying to make friends?
Yeah. And I think I talk about this a lot in private practice because this is something that so many people struggle with. And I think I hear it nearly every week or every other week from clients, or maybe even just from people. It's so hard to make friends as an adult. When you're a child, it's so much easier. Where do you go?
Because of the proxy situation.
Yeah.
That's what makes it easy.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And my answer always remains the same. It's, think about the thing, open your eyes, first of all, and don't limit who you think could be a potential friend because they don't look a certain way, they don't talk a certain way.
And let's just, I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but I want to say this. I know I interrupt you a lot sometimes.
It's all right, go on.
But, and then I'm going to bring you back. But because let's just name it. I feel like we do make judgments. Like you walk into a room and you scan and you go, yeah, I'm going to be friends with that person. Yeah, I'm going to be friends with that person. Yeah, that person looks like. And then how many times do you actually probably end up connecting with the person you least thought?
Yeah, you would connect
we make those judgments.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. And I think there's a reason why we do that. When we think about it, even just psychologically, judgments are used as a form of protection. Like we make judgments when we're about to cross the road. We want to see how, what's the distance, between that car and myself. Can I cross the road safely? What's the difference between like a red and blue caterpillar versus like a green one? I don't know. Like what's poisonous? That's why we have snap judgments, because it's a protective feature to keep us safe. Does this person look like they're about to harm me? Should I cross the road? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so we have judgments for a reason. And I don't think we can stop that, but we can maybe just pause.
Be aware of it.
We can be aware of it, and then we can think before we act on the judgment.
Yeah.
So I think when it comes to making new friends, I would say, look for things that you enjoy doing, whether that's a hobby, if you want to learn a new skill, and open your eyes when you get there. Like, this is a great opportunity to meet people who are interested in something that you are as well. Try and form connections, and you form connections by being interested in other people and being open by asking questions. Just showing that interest, and hopefully that will be reciprocated. So I'd say look for things that you enjoy doing, speak to your neighbours. If you find that you do maybe have a similar route to work all the time and you see the same commuters, maybe strike up a conversation, say hi to someone at the cashier. Just talk, be open, smile.
What would you say to someone that has social anxiety, that wanted to make friends?
Yeah, be more interested in the other person, because with social anxiety, you do become so inwardly focused and you're thinking about, how am I sounding? What am I saying? Do I look stupid? Do I have something stuck in my teeth? Do I have a bogey sticking out my nose? And you get so focused on yourself that the conversation then becomes really stilted. And it naturally becomes awkward because it's so hard to focus on so many different things at once. So I'd say put your focus on the other person, actually. Be more interested in them. Ask them lots of questions. Follow their train of thought. That's what I would suggest.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you are someone who's wanting to maybe make new friendships, whether that be with somebody older because you're looking for more wisdom, or someone your age, or even someone younger than you, because you're just looking for something else, start with yourself first. I say go inwards first before you go out. And what I mean by that is, where are you in your life now? What's interesting you? What's feeling like fulfilling to you in terms of like a hobby or an interest or an activity? And if you can find a way to either do that or have that form part of your life, I think it's like going to be a much more natural process then of meeting people that ignite that in you, that then gives you the opportunity to ignite it as a friendship.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
And be open to all the scenarios, as you were saying. Like, just be open.
Yeah. Be open and also be selective. This is your opportunity to also cultivate relationships that are really life-giving, affirming, or fun, positive.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes we can't necessarily select that in other areas of our lives or other relationships in our lives. So be open and selective.
That's making me think of maybe like a friendship audit.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's another thing we were talking about, is people's values change throughout life depending on where they are. And just because maybe you were friends with somebody 10 years ago and you were really good friends, and if it feels like it's not working for you both anymore, but you're maybe trying to force it and push it to work because you have history, like a friendship doesn't have to keep going just because there's history there.
Yeah.
If it's not working.
If it's not working. Yeah.
And so maybe you're at the other end of it, which is I'm maybe not trying to make new friends, but I'm thinking about the friendships I do have and being intentional. What's working for me? What's serving me? What's filling me up? Which of these friendships are allowing me to be like my truest self?
Yeah.
And accepting me for that. And I show that back as well.
Yeah, yeah. Because it is also about the giving as well, not just the taking.
Yeah.
But I like that, where I can be authentically receiving, authentically giving, or sharing. Co-creating.
In any role that you bring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're all for it.
Let us know what you think about this one.
What are your thoughts?
What do you think about age gap friendships?
Do you have many younger friends?
I'm trying to sometimes I don't even know people's ages because I think I get them like so far off the mark.
Yeah. Do you not ask?
I don't think I do.
I'm a nosy bugger.
I
ask.
No, I don't think I do.
Yeah.
I think, maybe I'm just assuming. And maybe I don't care. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you just don't care. Yeah.
I have a lot of older friends, and I would know that they're older just because of where they are in their lives. Like their kids are older or they have grandkids.
Yeah.
Younger wise, I genuinely cannot answer that because nobody is springing to mind that I'm like, I definitely know they're younger than me.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, a couple.
How did you meet them?
Work, gym. I have this thing where I live. Yeah. My mum's like, you collect people everywhere you go, and I think it's true. Just anyone. I'm like, hi, how you doing?
You are very chatty.
I just collect friends everywhere I go. Yeah.
It's really sweet, actually.
Is it?
Yeah. Until it's not.
Until it's not.
For you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Should we edit that out?
Yeah, let's edit it out before we reveal any further. But yeah, thank you so much to Women's Health for reaching out to us to talk to us about this topic. And thank you so much for watching.
And we'll see you on the floor for part 2. This is Dr. Ritz.
And this is Dr. Vicky.
Bye.
Bye.